This is going to be the saddest story I have ever told you guys. Did you know that Lox went homeless? This happened relatively recently, and the reason as to how he went homeless will absolutely shock you. It was a very serious situation, and I never talked about this on YouTube because we didn't know what was gonna happen. And I love Lox. He is literally my best friend, and let's just say a really sad story kind of turned into something kind of funny. When you guys found out what Lox did, you're probably going to look at him a little bit differently. This all starts off on our first ever trip together. We went to Texas in 2019, the entire squad of Team Fortnite, and these final moments is what led Lox to turning homeless. And you're probably thinking, how does just a group of friends end up turning Lox homeless? We all know that Lox's brain is the size of a pea, and he does very stupid things sometimes. Even though he's a great friend, he makes bad decisions. On the way to Texas, for the first time meeting Lox in over 6 years. That's right, guys, I knew Lox when I was a kid. We stopped talking, and then we became friends again, and I was on my way to meet him. He kept texting me over and over again, "I have something to show you." And what Lox had to show me is what ended up turning him completely homeless. So guys, I arrived to Texas, I get off of my plane, Lox is literally spamming me on my phone. "Where are you? I need to show you this." And I had no idea what it was. We finally get picked up by Lox because he got there first. He was the only person old enough to get the rental car. He picks us all up from the airport and he goes, "Dude, I need to show you this amazing thing." And I'm like, what could this man possibly have? I didn't know. What Lox didn't know is that this would be the worst decision he has ever made in his young life. We get out of the car. We finally arrive to the Airbnb, and Lox goes, "All right, guys, I am super excited to show you this." And I'm like, what are you possibly planning? Are you pranking me? What are you doing? And guys, just a little bit of background. Unfortunately, Lox doesn't really have too many friends, and that kind of relates to him going homeless. He reaches in his pocket. I had no idea what he was about to pull out. Maybe a spider, maybe a tarantula. He pulls out a big rock, and the rock, not Dwayne the Rock, is what made him go homeless. This rock was enormous. This rock had a smiley face, and I said, "Lox, like, Tyler, what is this? Why are you showing me this? Why were you freaking out about this?" And he goes, "Guys, this is my pet rock." I literally can't make it up. He had a pet rock as an imaginary friend. And you know, that's fine to have an imaginary friend, but what Lox did with this rock, let's just say, was the worst decision of his life. I'm like, "Lox, it's literally just a rock. It doesn't move." He looks at me and he goes, "Oh yeah, this puppy moves. This puppy plays stretch." He was literally calling it a puppy. He starts throwing it up and down into the sky. And keep in mind, this thing weighed probably like 3-4 pounds. He was just throwing it up and down, catching the rock. And all of the members of Team Fortnite, all of the boys, were just like, "I'm gonna kind of get away." Because it was literally only a matter of time until this rock landed on someone. Lox was throwing it up and down horribly, and it kept landing on the ground. Lox caught it sometimes, but a lot of the time it was literally going anywhere and everywhere. I told him he was going to hurt himself. He didn't listen because he said his pet rock is very loyal. Oh my gosh, it's kind of funny at this point. And then the expected happened. The rock fell and it hit Lox on the head. Before I knew it, this man was literally lying on the ground. And you're probably wondering, how does this turn him being homeless? My eyes were like this. I was like, dude, Tyler, are you okay? And instantly, he's just looking around, patting himself on the head because it probably hurt. And he goes, yeah, I'm good. But who are you? That's right, my best friend, Tyler, looked at me dead in the eyes and said, "Who are you?" And I didn't know if he was joking. I didn't know if it was some sort of prank, but I assumed that he wasn't pranking me after getting hit in the head by a rock. I said, "Dude, we have to call an ambulance." And he literally said, "Why would a stranger call the ambulance? I'm going away." This man literally lost his memory by hitting his head on a rock. Now, this is where things got really creepy. We were recording all of this, but instantly we deleted the recordings because we did not want to upload this. We thought it was a very serious situation, and it kind of was. But don't worry, this kind of gets funny. We all know that Lox and I have the absolute dream jobs of being YouTubers, but Lox looks down at his watch just like this, and he goes, oh no, I'm late for work. I'm like, late for work? What are you talking about? Where do you work? Because I was just testing him. And he says, McDonald's. Lox hasn't worked at McDonald's since 2016. So I was freaked out. At this point, he probably lost his memory for the last 6 years. He didn't remember the point where he got fired from McDonald's. He only remembered the last year of working there in 2016. I even asked him, dude, what year is it, by the way? And he says 2016. I didn't know if he was pranking me. So keep in mind, he didn't remember who I was. He didn't remember he had a job as a YouTuber. He thought he worked at McDonald's. So he starts walking to McDonald's, perfectly remembering where it is. The worst part about it is we were literally at the place in Texas that Lox used to live in 2016, so that didn't help. I think when the rock hit him, it kind of jogged his memory back to when he lived in San Antonio. Me and the boys are full on spying on him at this point, watching him go to McDonald's. Keep in mind, he doesn't work there. He walks in, instantly walks back out, and he's crying. He goes, "They fired me!" And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? The year's 2022, and he just did not believe me. So at this point, he's fired from his job. He doesn't know he's a YouTuber. And now I'm watching him walking to his old house in San Antonio that he sold in 2017 to move to Arizona. He didn't realize that the house had new owners. I needed a solution. I didn't know what to do. This was very serious, and I still didn't know if he was pranking me. And then I thought of the pet rock. If there was one thing that was going to jog the memory of this absolute clown, love you, Lox, by the way, it was the pet rock. I had to run back to the Airbnb and get this pet rock. I went by myself. My friends were watching Lox, and they were telling me everything he was doing while I was grabbing the pet rock. Apparently, he went out in the middle of nowhere, found a piece of cardboard with a pen right next to it, probably used by a homeless man right before him, and he started writing H-O-M. He was literally about to write the word homeless. Obviously, this is a very sad story, someone losing their memory, but don't worry, this gets good. We can finally laugh about it. I run back, I'm holding the rock behind my back, I look at Tyler, and I say, do you remember this? At first he says, dude, what do you want? I don't know you. I pull the rock out, put it in front of his face, and he just looks around like this, and he goes, Rocky. I mean, I can't believe I'm laughing about it, but it's kind of funny. He starts remembering his memory a little bit, but he still doesn't remember who I am, and then he starts throwing it up and down again. I don't know how long this dude has had this rock. Maybe he had it in 2016, who knows? He starts throwing it again, and it hits his head again for the final time because it hits his head, he's hurt, and then he looks at me, and he says, Nick, did you throw that rock at me? He remembered my name. He remembered he was a YouTuber. I have no idea how this happened. To this day, fun fact, I still don't know if it was all a prank. Comment down below, do you think he was pranking me or do you think it was real? He's never told me the truth. Subscribe for more.